Welcome to Enlightened, the enlightened journey of life. I am your host, Jen Hamilton, and it is an honor to have you here. I am a conscious life coach and women's empowerment mentor, and I activate a potent level of self and soul inquiry with my clients, which initiates deep and lasting transformation in all areas of their lives. I am here for the full human experience, authentically and audaciously sharing my magic with the world. On this podcast, we're all about mastering life on the way to enlightenment. And as we are here having a human experience, we might as well embrace it all. We play in the space of what is real and tangible, just as much as we play in the space of esoteric and metaphysical. You'll be ignited by deep conversation, whether through my own personal musings, interviews with incredible thought leaders around the world, and everyday divine humans sharing their soulful stories. Thank you for being on this journey. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Enlightened Podcast. I'm your host, Jen, and today I'm joined by Marko Buric of Empowered Life 360. Marko is a mindset and performance coach running his own coaching business since 2017. Before starting his own business, he was an IT security professional for the biggest Swiss bank based in Bern and graduated as a business data processing specialist. During this time, he moved on with his education and became a certified PGI consultant for leadership and mindset, performance, efficiency, and paradigm shifting for teams and individuals. Following a specific blueprint for success with step-by-step instructions that are scalable and repeatable, Empowered Life has been supporting individuals and corporate clients all over the globe to set up the right goals, change their habitual ways of thinking and acting to substantially improve their financial situation and relationships, health, self-confidence, and performance. Marko had so much wisdom to share in our interview, and it was such an honor to have him on the show. So without further ado, let's dive in. Marko, hi. Thank you so much for joining me for a chat today.
Thank you, Jen. Thanks for having me.
Now, where in the world are you?
Everywhere, kind of, but I right now sit in Switzerland.
Wow, and you would have had a white Christmas. We're in January at the moment recording this, so you would have had a white Christmas.
No, it wasn't white. It was pretty warm. It was 15 degrees over Christmas, so no white Christmas.
I have this picture in my head that Switzerland is like just this like beautiful sort of wonderland of snow.
Yeah, and it is, but not this year. This year it was pretty warm, but we made it white. So we went a little bit higher, and we had a great New Year's. So that was kind of whitish.
Perfect. That's all you need. Absolutely. Now, you're a mindset and performance coach, and you're a certified PGI consultant, as you've done some work with Bob Proctor. I'm a huge fan of Bob Proctor. I was introduced to him quite a number of years ago with a client that I was working with who was also working under him. Tell us about the incredible work that you do.
So where shall I start? Let's start at the beginning. I also came to know Bob Proctor due to some personal circumstances. I was in personal development since I was 18 years. I ran into personal development books through network marketing. But when I met Bob Proctor or got to know him was in a more dark moment. Perhaps we'll touch later on that, but this is when I actually found him, and I started researching what he was doing and made the leap of faith, because working with him wasn't just peanuts to get started with, right? So this is when everything changed. At that point in time, I was an IT professional. I worked in IT security, which was really cool and great, but I wasn't very passionate. It wasn't what I really wanted. I wanted always something more, something, you want to do more, to grow, create, really do something more than just work, home, and that was it. Perhaps here and there some holidays. And when I started with Bob, I didn't have a clue that I signed up for being a PGI consultant, meaning for helping other people, through Bob's work. So this is when I signed up, I started, and it dawned on me. And this is when everything started to change. And I got introduced to his amazing, breathtaking information, at least it was for me, that really triggered different paths in my life. And I started working with clients all over the place, like from basically Australia to Canada. And we changed really dozens of lives, from relationships to finances to jobs to businesses, you name it. And I got really dragged into that, and it is so much fun seeing people just win. I had, and it just popped in my mind. I had a client who was from Austin, Texas, or who is still from Austin, Texas. A young guy. He was back then, I think, 22 years of age, and he was suffering of continuous headaches. He was suffering for this headaches. I think it was 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
Continuously. He had done all possible scans, all possible researches. He tried everything possible what doctors would tell him and help him with. And we had our own journey, but when he started working with us, after 1 month, his headaches were gone.
Wow, that's incredible. Wow. So tell us about what's actually sort of the basis of it. Is it hypnosis? Is it mindset work? Is it energy? Tell us all about that.
It's woo-woo.
Yes, go there. Woo is my favorite kind.
It's crystals, it's markers. No, joking. It depends really on which perspective you choose, but it is very tactical, very strategic, very logical. But on the other hand, we focus very much on the person itself, on the inner state, which means our emotional state, which means what we think about, which means our belief system, which means our habits. And the basis of everything is, and those who know Bob know this little guy here, the stick person. Can you see it well?
I can. If anyone's listening on to the audio, you'll have to jump onto YouTube to have a look at this, because I have not seen this before. It's like this metal contraption thing that looks like you're going to go catch a bear with it or something.
or a turtle with a big smile, I heard someone say.
I see that now. Yes. Okay. Sure.
So you haven't seen it?
I have not seen
Jen?
this. No.
No? Okay. Yeah, you have to check it out, because it's called the stick person. Very simple. The idea comes from a doctor from San Antonio, Texas, from the mid-30s. And the idea was to connect well-being with something tangible, because the doctors have had issues explaining something they did not know what it was. If we don't have a picture, it's hard to explain to somebody so that they understand. Right? So, and let's start this. This is called the stick person. Now, we are talking also about, I'll put this down a little bit, mindset, right?
Yep.
Mindset. So if we ask any person, perhaps you can jump into a person or just answer these questions. If you would imagine the mind, how would the mind look like for you?
Oh, that is a great question. I see it as not a tangible thing, not a physical thing. When I think of mind, I instantly go to my head and I go to my brain, but I go to sort of more the inner workings of that. So it's not something tangible. So it's like inside the brain.
Yeah.
But it's a vision.
Yeah. So we automatically and are drawn to our head, to our brain, but as Bob says, the brain is as much the mind as our fingernail is, or our hand, whatever. It's not an organ. The mind is not an organ. So the stick person is the picture of the mind, and it is very tangible. So the mind is in every cell of our body. It is movement, right? This is very important to hold and to remember. Now, how the stick person works, I will go quickly through that. We have two circles. We have a big circle with the line, and we have a small circle. The big circle with the line divides the conscious and the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
The conscious mind has 5 sensory factors. We can see here: smell, taste, and touch. And it is divided in half because one part is the conscious, the other part is the subconscious. Now, there's a difference between conscious and subconscious. The conscious mind can decide, can get information, can store information, and all those active parts we think with our conscious mind. Our subconscious mind is deductive. So that means it just receives. It cannot decide, it cannot differentiate between real and imagined. Very important. In our subconscious mind, there are things stored, information. These informations are habits, beliefs. We also say the subconscious mind is our heart. It's our emotional mind. So our subconscious mind communicates with us through emotion. And it is the subconscious mind that puts this little circle, which represents our body, our physical manifestation of our mind. It controls the body. So the body is an instrument of our subconscious mind. And whatever is stored in our subconscious mind is given to our body, which creates a movement. We call it behavior or action, right? And when I say that we do only what we feel like doing, it makes total sense. Because it's our emotional mind that gives our body the direction or directive: do this or don't do that. Right? So this is a quick overview of the stick person, and this is the basic concept that we work with.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. So do you educate people on this way? Because as a hypnotherapist, like I'm obsessed with, subconscious mind work. all of that kind of stuff. And I love hearing different perspectives. And it's so funny. I've never come across this stick figure before, but it makes so much sense because people like to see a tangible thing. I use the analogy of a computer, so that the subconscious is like the motherboard of a computer. No one knows how that works, but it's got all the information on there. But everyone knows how to access the files on the desktop, which is like your, conscious mind. And you can go in and you can click your files and you can access the things on the desktop, but all of the good bits are like stored on the back drive that you don't even have access to. And so I love that there is something tangible that you show people. And so is from there, do you take them on a journey through going into their subconscious and delving into what those beliefs are, or what is, their mindset, their body set?
So the problem with mindset is the following. I've experienced it myself. When I started, we started working, and perhaps you've had that experience too, and we unlock this black box, right, with all those habits, beliefs. We call them paradigms as a general term to explain all of this. And then we say, oh, I have to work on this paradigm, on that paradigm, and this is not working, that is not working. Now, what are we doing? We are focusing our five senses. Let's say this microphone is a paradigm. Mm-hmm. It's a black paradigm, which does not help, right? So with our senses, we can see it, smell it, touch it. We focus on that. Oh, I have to change that. What do we create here in our conscious mind? An idea of, this is not good, I have to change that. And we keep on working on that. With time and repetition, this idea gets stored in our subconscious mind. Right? So our subconscious mind gives this information along to the body. And our body starts behaving and acting accordingly. Now we jump into the laws of the universe, right? Universal laws. And the most important and most basic and most basically known law is the law of cause and effect, which even scientists use, especially those researching the universe, funny enough. So based on the law of cause and effect, the cause is created through our behavior, through our actions, and the law says whatever you do comes back, right? So we create the cause and the effect comes back. So the mixing of cause and effect creates a result. What is going that result to be? If we are focusing on, I don't want this, we program our subconscious mind with that, and we behave according, more of the same. It's like, let's say, somebody wants to get out of debt, right? So I want to get out of debt. The thought is that they are going to be in it, or that they are in it anyways. Mm-hmm. So it's a clash. It's a mixing message to our subconscious mind. And because we actually don't want to get out of debt, we want to be prosperous, wealthy, feeling good, right? Feeling free. But instead of feeling good and feeling free, we feel debt. We feel harsh, hard, tense, heavy. And all of this is translated into our behavior. Now imagine a heavy person, like I often have mind cinema, like cartoons, when a cartoon is in a bad mood or it's very down, they have a black cloud over their head, like this is the behavior that comes when we focus on something that we want to change, but the core of the message, the core of the information is that we are already in it.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't focus on the problem that is or could be. And this is the biggest pitfall in mindset work and in positive thinking, because positive thinking doesn't do anything, because it's like a bouncing ball. Now I think positively, and the next second I don't, and it's hard to hold that level. So introducing a process and understanding how our mind works, what the consequences are, and why it is as it is, helps us gain clarity and really focus on what is important. So here comes the logical part, the process. The process works. This is kind of the main idea, and also psychotherapists work with this idea, but they usually see only the upper part.
Mm-hmm.
We had a psychotherapist as a client, and when I explained her the lower part with the behavior, action, reaction, she was blown away, because this part was missing, fully missing, in her studies, in her education, completely. So she was blown away from this concept.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? When I did clinical hypnosis training, I did strategic psychotherapy as well, and it's true. Like in the training, there is a lot about the mind work as well. We do go a little bit into the somatics as well, with the body and stuff. But I think we're seeing a lot more of it now. People are more understanding that just that connection that we have with our body, that our mind exists all through it, and that we have this incredible power to change. We can create change, and it's not just about, I don't even use the word positive thinking or positive talk, because it's got a charge, because then basically we're setting ourselves up for failure, because if we think the opposite of that, we code it as negative. And if we're just having a feeling or a normal human emotion and we're coding it as positive or negative, we're saying one is right and one is wrong, essentially. We've coded positive with right and negative with wrong. And we know what happens in our subconscious mind when we're right and wrong, we're safe and unsafe. And so helping people understand that has been such a game changer in my journey as well. And I love that you're bringing this work forward. I love that you're so passionate about this and this is what you do. Let's go back into, I love talking about paradigm shifting. And I love that you referred to something tangible in front of you as the microphone, as something that, is, a paradigm, as an example. And a way of being essentially is a paradigm. How many paradigms exist within each and every one of us? Is it something that we can put a number on, or is it infinite?
Why would you like to know?
I'm just curious, because when I talk about shifting paradigms within myself and in my own work, for me, it is a belief system. So an old paradigm thinking that I shifted through massive wealth blocks myself, because as the example that you gave of reminding yourself constantly if you're in debt or you're not making enough money, or the words that we say so unconsciously that just kind of fall out of our mouth. It's like, okay, well, I'm seeing debt in a loan. I have debt. What do I want instead of that? Not the debt. We're wired to say what we don't want, and this is where I talk about the towards and away motivation. It's like, don't tell me what you don't want, tell me what you do want. And so that for me in itself, like that was such a big area of, wealth was such a paradigm for me. Then in my, my relationship that I'm in now, I'm, relating to someone in a way, throughout our, 2.5 year relationship, I've had a completely different way of relating to someone, because I truly believe that we're upgrading in the way we think about relationships, about how we understand the biology of men and women, how we understand monogamy, how we're understanding, cultural, religious, patriarchal expectations of roles within relationships. So for me, that like relationships have been a paradigm. So that's why I was curious, like, is everything just a paradigm, or is it kind of like the major stuff that we go through in our lives? It could be around, how we work, how we travel. Like, what is that for you?
Yeah. I wanted to challenge you a bit because we are all so tied into logic, strategic process, strategy, understanding all the bits and pieces. And me coming from a technical background, it's
You get it.
very, I get it. It's very strong. It's sometimes, yeah, it can be hard for myself. What I've learned is that, and I never asked this question, so I don't know the answer, but what I know is that we are operating between 95 to 97%, 95 to 97% of our time on automatic schedule, basically. That would indicate that the majority of the time paradigms rule. Now, a paradigm is not good nor not bad. And I totally agree with you. Putting good or bad, positive or negative to things, like the question is based on what? What is the gauge? What is the neutral point that would say that's neutral, and then if it's off in that way it's positive, and in the other way it's negative. But what's the neutral point? If I say I'm the neutral point, then it doesn't make sense for you, because you might have a totally different neutral point, which would make my positive your negative, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's completely subjective. Like it's not measurable.
Exactly. So paradigms are the same. We don't say good or bad, but what we can say is supporting or supportive or not. Does this paradigm support me towards what I want? Right? So the idea is really about figuring out which paradigms we have in terms of or connected to the goals that we want to achieve. Because we often connect paradigms with very logical things, like you mentioned, money, relationships. That's fine. But how about breathing? That's a paradigm.
Ooh, I like that.
What about, for example, my dialect, English dialect? That's a paradigm. And if I would like to, I can change it fully. I can become, at least from a sound perspective, a native speaker, English native speaker. I can practice, right? So that's a paradigm too. How we brush our teeth is a paradigm. When I say pink elephant, it's a paradigm, the reaction that you have, whatever next thought came to your mind.
A pink elephant.
Pink elephant in the room, right? So paradigms, habits, and behaviors are not only physical, are not only connected to certain topics, but are also mental or emotional reactions. For example, just today, me and my wife drove home, and she shared something from her from a meeting that she had, and my reaction was rather upset, like emotionally, and I stated my point of view, which was not the nicest or most positive, and she said, like, yeah, but I just wanted to share. Sorry, that wasn't against you or towards you or whatever. That was just my point of view. Then I was thinking, why did I react as I did? Because of a paradigm. And the paradigm was something that I grew up with, and it became very strong, which is part of fairness, growth, and whatever. But it was my automatic reaction, which is a paradigm, which is a habit. We don't connect the word habit to emotional reactions or reactions when we say something or even think about something. We don't connect the word habit with mental states or like states in our conscious or subconscious mind. We connect them usually with physical habits: brushing teeth, waking up early, doing my routine, doing gratitude, meditating, and whatnot. That's all good, but nothing changes up here.
Mm. Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating. I love learning so much more about how our mind, our bodies, our way of being, our paradigms all work and coexist together. What is something that the listeners can take away from today? Can you give them a juicy piece of wisdom that you can help them with, that is going to change their mind about something right here, right now?
Yes, and something that I've seen a lot, especially on social media. Now, both of us are on social media, and you might have experienced that yourself when you work on something and you don't see the results as you would like or wish to. So you run into a person, obviously, that has the results that you want, right? And your mind goes, perhaps I should try this. Or what does that person do that I can adapt, and right? So there are lots of lessons here to learn. One is comparison, comparing to others, not feeling worthy or not feeling good enough, self-image stuff and whatnot. But what I want to pick out is something that helps in self-image regards, because it doesn't allow you to get even that far. And this is how to block outside circumstances to influence our thinking.
Mm.
How can I shield off information that doesn't help me? Like information like comparison, which backfires on my self-image, on my self-worth, on what I think of myself, or perhaps create the feeling of I'm not good enough, right? So by shielding the information, we can avoid even that. So the lesson is this one. We have 5 senses. We can see, hear, taste, smell, and touch, and usually we try to think through our 5 senses. We see and gather information. But the most fun part is when we create something from scratch by ourselves, right? When we create something without the help of others, we feel proud. right? So one thing is focus. Now, we can either focus on what we want, and this is crucial. We can focus on what we want, which many say focus on what you want, see yourself already there, having it, feeling it, etc. But that's not always sustainable. Because you go online, you have to do your work, you have to use the internet, social media, and the information is rushing through our five senses. It's like a 5-lane highway fully packed with information. So you cannot shield off every single thought. That's basically impossible. But what we can do is we can focus, instead of our thinking, our emotions. Our emotions always tell us if we are aligned or not. Aligned meaning happy or not, frustrated or not, upset or not, etc. Right? So our emotions tell us what we were thinking. Perhaps not the thought, but we know, okay, something's going on. Now, instead of reacting on that, we can focus on looking for things that feel good. Focus on things that feel good and let go of the things that don't. If we see something, if I see something that doesn't feel good, I refocus. What does feel good instead? What does feel good instead? What I do is I gauge my emotions, give my five senses the instead, and because I use the focus part, which is one of our mental faculties, not sensory factors, it's a faculty, mental faculties. We have 6 of them, but using that one to refocus, we keep our conscious mind busy, which shields off all other information.
Right.
For example, if you would do a little bit of mathematics here, if you would calculate now or do some work and write down some problems and really work on that, could you do some math while having a discussion at the same time?
Probably not.
Probably not, right? You would have to stop, discuss, come back, and so on, right?
Yep.
So there is no multitasking. Multitasking is a myth.
Okay.
Do math while writing a post.
I can type and have a conversation. I can type something. Like I can be typing a blog and having a conversation with my partner, and I can be in literally both worlds. I think it's a Virgo thing.
But you switch so fast.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not completely present with each individual one. I can obviously go between both very quickly. So I'm aware of what I'm typing.
Correct.
And I'm saying, like, I'm taking the information in. Say, for example, I'm having a conversation with my partner while I'm typing. I can understand the key words that are coming in that he's saying, but he doesn't have my full attention because my keyboard has half of my attention. So yes, you are completely right.
Go. There you go. It's for things that we are used to, we can switch so fast that it seems like we're doing it simultaneously. But with mathematics, it works all the time because there are not many people who do mathematics in after school,
Yes.
and then doing something in addition doesn't work. So this is the trick, right? Focus on something that makes you feel good and switch to what instead if you found something that doesn't, and you will hijack your mind, your five senses to look for what feels good, so you will not even see the negative stuff. You will not even have the need to compare because you will not see it. You will not think about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Is that why vision boards work so well? Because people have a vision of the things that they want to call in, that they want to manifest because they desire it and it makes them feel good. Is that why vision boards work well?
Yes. Vision boards create an emotion. And we said our subconscious mind is our emotional mind, right? And if we immerse with our five senses into our vision board and create the picture in our conscious mind, and it translates in our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind cannot differentiate between a picture of a villa or a Ferrari and the real villa and the Ferrari. So the more we do that and start believing it, beliefs are stored here. This is when the magic happens.
I love it. I love it. I could just nerd out on this all day. Marko, you have been through such an incredible journey to come to the point that you're at now. And, you offer just so much wisdom, through everything that you've learned. How do people find you to be able to work with you and soak up more of your goodness?
Pretty easy. I have a website which can be shown here, the TIR Life/4U, which is a landing page with my social media channels, my website, and other goodies. Also, the books that really changed my life, and they are linked there as well if you want to have a look. What I would suggest is this one, the Psycho-Cybernetics from Maxwell Maltz.
Okay, we'll link to that one in the show notes.
Yeah, so it is linked also on my site, the TIR Life website. And why I say this is because this is the only book that I've seen. Perhaps somebody can give me more information, but it's the only book where I've seen that it is researched that for all the results that a person has in their business and life, there is 100% of their results, meaning everything, is divided in 5% strategy and 95% mindset. So 95% of all the results are because of a certain mindset.
Wow.
And it's really this book that I found to have it written in there. And it is a great book because it is about self-image. And Dr. Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon who wrote a book about mindset. That's an interesting twist.
Very interesting. I love it. Marko, thank you so much for joining me for a chat today. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Likewise, it was a pleasure and really fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it as well.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I hope you love the Enlighten podcast, and the biggest compliment you can give me is subscribing to this podcast, sharing it, and leaving a rating and review. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. My handle is @JenHamiltonOfficial, and the podcast handle is enlightened_podcast. You can also find the video version on YouTube on my channel. Just search Enlightened and don't forget to hit subscribe. Have a beautiful day and enjoy living the enlightened journey of life.